Guys, at this point in time, I think that we truly have to ask ourselves, how much help does Kevin Durant and this Phoenix Suns team really need? Because according to the rumors and reports that have been floating around the web, apparently the Suns want to improve their roster so bad that they're willing to overlook any sort of character concerns and off the court problems altogether. The irony here is honestly just too much for me. You have Kevin Durant out here saying that he deserves to be in the GOAT conversation and only isn't in that conversation because he went to the Warriors. Meanwhile, the Suns, who have assembled a superbly talented big three that consists of nothing but elite players, are out here trying to form the Avengers in order to win a championship. In Kevin Durant's defense, he has had a great career and is having a smooth season, averaging a mind-boggling 28.3 points, 5.7 assists, and 6.4 rebounds, while shooting 53.1% from the field and 45.2% from three. Kevin Durant having one of his best seasons at 35 while being a 6'10 small forward that can handle the rock and shoot the ball like he does, while also being a dominant defender is different. But still, with what he's accomplished, could we really consider this man one of the GOATs? I don't always agree with Draymond Green, but I have to agree with him in this situation. He says that you have to go out and do what Steph did to even be mentioned in this type of conversation. And guys, is Draymond Green wrong here? So it's no surprise that the Suns are out here trying to improve their roster ahead of the trade deadline. As evidenced by the Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant trades, Matt Ishbia doesn't give a single F and wants to win at all costs. This man would probably trade his left arm if it meant that he could improve the Suns roster. With that being said, let's just say that we have a lot to talk about when it comes to this Suns team and its potential roster moves. But first, let's go ahead and get a word from today's sponsor. So over the years, I've grown to love going to live events like concerts and basketball games with my family and friends. But while I've loved going to events, there is one thing that I used to hate about them, and that was the whole ticket buying process. I used to despise that process, but then I found out about Game Time and everything changed. Game Time is the fast, easy, and cheaper way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have great last-minute deals which are offered even an hour after an event starts. They have all-in prices, and they also have their lowest price guarantee, which is fantastic if you're just out there trying to find the best deal possible. With Game Time, you can also view your seat from the app, which is one of my favorite and most underrated features. Imagine wasting your hard-earned money thinking that you're getting amazing seats only for your view to be nothing like you thought it would. Guys, make your life easier and take the guessing out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code COOP for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code COOP for $20 off of your first purchase. I want to give a huge shout out to Game Time for coming through and sponsoring today's content. The Suns have been a really weird team this season. Amid a shaky, injury-riddled 15-15 start to the season, rumors would start to surface that Kevin Durant would be frustrated yet again. This would lead to people thinking that the superstar who left OKC to join one of the best teams ever, and then left that team to eventually form a big three in Brooklyn, and then left that team to eventually form yet another big three, would be on the move yet again. But this wouldn't be the case at all, as it would come out that although Kevin Durant and Book were having some heated conversations amid their struggles, those conversations were productive and actually needed to turn this season around, which I'm really glad that they had these conversations. Booker, who is one of the best scorers in the game right now and was a bit too worried about getting other players involved early this season, has been way more aggressive as of late, and even if the aggression happens to a fault sometimes, it's still been a great thing to see, especially considering that I own this man in fantasy basketball. Since Bradley Beal has returned and Kevin Durant told Point Book to be that aggressive scorer that is capable of turning up and dropping 62 on any given night, the Phoenix Suns have been hot, even if they did drop that 62-point Book game. When you look at the wins that this team has been racking up, it's clear that the Phoenix Suns have been flying under the radar as one of the most dangerous teams in the league, with a devastating attack where anybody can go off on any given night. And here they are, reportedly having interest in Miles Bridges of all players. According to reports, the Suns are a team that plans to be active on the trade market and the buyout market, and one of their targets is Miles Bridges, who they'd feel comfortable giving up assets for, even if it were for a rental for the remainder of the season, which, mind you, that Bridges does have a full no trade clause and has said that he wants to be in Charlotte, and that's never going to change. Now, it is also worth noting that just a few months ago, they had reports like this one out there that said that there wasn't a lot of confidence that Bridges would be back in Charlotte. If Charlotte didn't care what Bridges wanted and really wanted to get rid of him, then we could see Bridges come to terms with reality, accepting that it could be in his best interest to waive that no trade clause and go on to make a deep playoff run. Maybe this is why the Suns are very confident in their ability to acquire Miles Bridges, with a source close to the situation saying that they are very confident that they'd be able to get a deal for Miles Bridges across the finish line. There is so much wrong with the Suns' interest in Miles Bridges that I can't believe that this is even an option for this team. For crying out loud, those Robert Sarver burns are still relatively fresh. Now, I'm not comparing the situations at all. I'm just more so saying that this team doesn't need this media nightmare and potential dysfunction. I mean, just a handful of months ago, this guy was facing new absurd allegations. If you ask me, this isn't the kind of stuff that you really want around your team that's trying to win a championship. And this is coming from a guy that's all about second chances. Even from a pure basketball standpoint, I don't really understand the Suns' interest in Bridges. Sure, you could use another versatile wing and he might be the most talented guy you could get at the price that you would pay for him, but unless you were certain that he wins you a championship this year, then trading for him would be nothing more than a giant waste, considering that the Suns already have cap issues, meaning that they probably wouldn't be able to pay him whatever he commanded anyways. I'm sorry guys, I just really don't see Miles Bridges coming in and being this team's missing piece like Drew Holiday was for the Milwaukee Bucks or something. I don't know guys, you could let me know if I'm tripping on this one down in the comments below. So here are some targets that I do like for the Phoenix Suns. Andre Drummond of the Bulls, the big who averaged 17.4 rebounds, 14 points, and 1.4 steals in 7 starts could be a steal if Phoenix found a way to get him. Goga Bitadze from the Magic could be great for them. He is a young, skilled, shot-blocking big that solidly stepped in this season when Wendell Carter Jr. unfortunately went down with injury. Jalen McDaniels from the Raptors, who like his brother is a long wing with plenty of defensive upside, has fallen out of the rotation in Toronto and should be incredibly cheap to acquire. McDaniels, who was averaging almost 11 points with Charlotte a few years ago, makes for a great buy low target. Chris Dunn of the Utah Jazz has been one of the best perimeter defenders in the league this season and has quietly been looking serviceable in Utah, shooting 48.6% from the field and 38.9% from 3, while averaging 4.3 assists. I really wouldn't mind seeing this team acquire a point guard like him or Schroeder. Now I know that I'm not naming the flashiest of options, but keep in mind that the Suns really don't have the most to work with. Also, I don't really think that this team needs a home run. I actually like their roster. In the comments below, let me know what you would do if you were the Phoenix Suns. If you were this team, are you going big for Miles Bridges? Or are you just trying to patch up some of the holes that this team has on its roster with a small but good move? Again guys, let me know what you would do down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.